Now, some people would watch that and say that I've pretty much mastered this knife skill. And me 5 years ago might look at this and be like, holy shit, one day I'll be able to do that, and think that I've mastered it too. But me today knows that I haven't mastered it. I'm exceptionally good at it to a degree that I can check out. I don't necessarily even have to look at what I'm doing. I can only use some of my senses. But there's a difference between being exceptionally good at something and mastering something. And the mastery part comes in where I engage all of my senses. Even as good as I am at this, I still engage all of my senses. When I look at this, as I've cut everything up here, if I'm checking out and just running on autopilot, that's fine, and I can do a great job. But to gain the true mastery of it, I have to still be engaged. I have to be watching what I'm doing, evaluating, and then making adjustments. For example, as I'm cutting an onion, I'm watching every slice that I make. I'm paying attention to my knife cuts. Are they uniform? Am I slicing it thin enough? And I can make adjustments on the fly. A lot of times with our food, we tend to go on autopilot. We figure we've mastered it. We're 20, 30, 40 years old, and we figure, hey, I know how to eat. I know, what food is. And when we get hungry, we just put something in our mouth. Whatever it is that's convenient that we can stick in our face is great. That's not mastery. That's autopilot. And you may even be exceptionally good at it. You may think that you know how to eat healthy, but it's not mastery. Mastery is always paying attention, evaluating, and making adjustments. Now, what I know about our relationship with food, wherever you sit on that scale of, mastery or exceptionally good or wherever you're at with that, what I know about our relationship with food is that it's reflective of other relationships in our lives as well. Our personal relationships, our friendships, romantic relationships, business relationships. If you're checking out in your relationship with food and running on autopilot, you may very well be checking out and running on autopilot in your friendships, in your business, and even your romantic relationship. So my invitation is simply this. Don't check out. Pay attention to what's going on. What would happen, just for example, if I had, the very first time I cut an onion, figured, oh, okay, I cut an onion, now I've got it mastered. And then from then on, every time I cut an onion, I just went into autopilot, checking out, not using all of my senses, all the information, all of my intelligence to refine my craft. Chances are, over the years, I would have cut myself quite a bit. And when you cut yourself prepping food, what happens is whatever it is you're prepping has to be discarded. There may be blood on it, there may not. There's no questions. If you cut yourself while you're prepping a piece of food, it gets discarded and you have to start over. And that happens a lot in our relationships too. When we go on autopilot, when we cut ourselves, when someone gets hurt, when there's damage done, we go into autopilot and we just, we feel like it's necessary to discard everything and start over. Whereas, if we're truly working for mastery, okay, we can make adjustments on the fly. We can keep ourselves from being cut. We can keep hurt from happening. Happens in business, okay? It applies to personal and friendships. It applies to those romantic relationships. And it applies to your relationship with food as well, okay? My invitation is simply this. Work for mastery. Evaluate. Figure out what it is you're doing, what's working, what's not, and make adjustments on the fly. Savor the day.